Welcome to our channel, everyone. This is Game Time International. I like to use this channel to kind of show products in motion. So we got the Ultra Pro 130 PT. We got our 130 PTs, both clear and black. Our black borders are front and back, which is a lot different than the other stuff in the industry right now. And this is a 130 PT Pro mold with inner sleeve. So ours have the inner sleeve, BCW, Ultra Pro, a lot of those others don't have the inner sleeve. Wouldn't be surprised if they tag along and start making inner sleeves with the rest of us. We're going to be looking at some of the quality concerns, and we're going to look at 3 different cards. First, we're going to do a Nasir Little rookie patch, Immaculate. Then we're going to look at a Absolute. This isn't a true 130, so we're going to see what happens when you put something a little less than 130. And then we're going to look at the National Treasures RPA. So we got some good cards as our examples. And so let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the Ultra Pro. So here's an Ultra Pro 130 PT, brand new. Okay. Okay, and we're going to look at some of the clarity is here. UV is in the middle. Clarity of 93, UV 100%. Now, if it's a UV at 100%, I want you to really understand that the UV at 100% means that it's most likely a sprayed on UV. It's not embedded in the plastic. Our UV is like 99.9 or 99.8, whatever. But this is most likely a spray-on UV, which is fine. It just has a shelf life, that UV. Okay, so let's see how the cards do in here. First with the Skylar Maze. So that's not fitting in there. It's a 130 F1. I wonder why that doesn't fit in there. Okay, so maybe it's a defect. Maybe we have to get another one. Here we go. This is the Zubat. There we go. That fits in there. It's going to have some movement. But there you go, 130 PT. A lot of movement just because that's not a true 130. It's probably not pressing against it right. And here goes another. Here's an Immaculate. Still quite a bit of rattling. I'm not sure if I want my card to be rattling in there. But for some reason, this Skylar Maze doesn't want to fit in there. That's very odd. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. We'll see what the other cards, what happens. Let me get a few more cards here to see what's going on, and then we'll continue the video. Okay, here's a Damian Lillard on-card rookie auto from Leaf. I actually cracked that out of a PSA. It had an auto 10, and it was a Gem Mint 8. So that's an 8. That's a 130 PT. Sorry about that. So let's see if this 130 PT can fit in there. And that does fit in there. Not sure why the Skylar Maze didn't, but for some reason it's probably a little bit different size, which was very weird. Okay. So for me, this movement is also moving this way, not just this way. So all this auto and all this shine is just kind of moving against that. I don't think that's good for the card. Some people may disagree. You guys let me know what you think, but this is a pass. This type of mag is definitely a pass. Let's look at the Pro mold. Okay, so this does have an inner sleeve Pro mold. And let's see the clarity of everything and the movement, and then move on to our mags and see which one we like. Of course, this is going to be super biased, but at the same time, it's good to do a comparison video. So the first thing you notice here is the clarity of this sleeve. It's not where you want it to be. The clarity of the sleeve. And then the second thing you notice is that the sleeve pressing up against that. That's why you have to put the film protection to peel off so that that doesn't get all cloudy. There, that shows right there. You can see all that stuff. So let's see the clarity and the UV protection. UV protection 99.1, perfect, doesn't need more than that. Clarity 95. So already we see that Ultra Pro's clarity is not at the same. They're 93. These guys have a clarity of 95. Very, very good. 94. Okay, not bad. The problem I'm having is this sleeve. This sleeve is not where it needs to be. And before we continue, we're going to open ours before we put the cards in. We're going to open ours to show you some of what we have to offer. So the GTi Mag comes like this. You pull it out and you have your sleeve as well. And you also have a piece of plastic that we're going to pull off. But the sleeve, the clarity is much clearer. It's not as foggy. And this is 2 pieces of plastic, so it's not really fair. But that's 78. But, you know, at the same token, this is ours. 83. So it's much clearer. The next thing we're going to look at, so that's their sleeve, this is our sleeve, is we're going to take this off. And you're not going to have all that nasty stuff. It's going to be none of the, it's going to be clean, you know. And so they're, like, unlike with the Pro mold, so when we take this, I just want to make sure that we're kind of doing it step by step. When you find that angle, it's hard to see in this light, but there it is. You see all that? Like, you see all that right there? And you see the same angle here? Ours doesn't have any of that. That's because the sleeve was packaged and pressed up against this for so long. Massive blunder in the packing process. You shouldn't be doing that. It's terrible for the plastic. That's why in Chinese we say fumo. That's why it's very important to put that on there and make sure that that's clean. So there's our clarity. 96. The inner sleeve. So we saw what Ultra Pro can do for you. Not impressed. And again, this is a little too foggy for me, but we're going to get the card in there. This is for 130 PT. We want the sleeve to catch that card really well. Okay, there's going to be slight movement in there. Let's see how it is when it's encased. And just a slight test. Not bad. Excellent. Very good. Some wrinklage on the back. We don't really want that. Not a huge issue, but it does wrinkle there on the back. You can see that wrinkles. Very nice. So that's the Lillard. Let's see what happens when we put the Skylar Maze, because we saw that Skylar Maze was having issues with the Pro mold. And you can see here that not having issues with this one. A little bit of wrinklage on the front. Pretty good, pretty solid. So good job for Pro mold. Few issues that I would definitely work on with the manufacturing. One being the sleeve is a little too, I think it's a little too easy for the card to come out, which is fine. Because once you encase it, it's fine. It's going to be an issue for cards not quite 130. That's what you're going to see. I think the Immaculate's not quite 130. Yeah, it slides. Okay, so the Immaculate does have some movement. Now, what you're going to see is with the non-130 card, this one's probably like 110 or so. You're going to see that movement. Really easy sliding down because it's not quite 130. So what we've done with GTI is we've made sure that regardless if it's exactly 130 or not, it has a little bit more flexibility. And I'll show you what I mean. So here's our inner sleeve. Okay. And let's just start with the smaller one. Okay, what you're going to notice is that card isn't moving as easily. Okay. And that's because the size of this sleeve, and also we do give 2 sleeves. Why do we give 2 sleeves? I'll explain to you right here. Safe one inside, but this one, let's say that this kind of slides down and then they pack it here and it bends it. I don't want my collectors to get upset that, oh, the sleeve that it came with had an issue. I want that extra sleeve in there just in case it's needed. So that's why we have the extra sleeve, just in case there's some issue with the first one. So there it is. Okay. So this is not 130. Much less movement than the Pro mold. And that's because of the sleeve. I'll show you again. Watch. It doesn't slide as easily. It's a little bit tighter than Pro mold. And more clarity than Pro mold as well. Okay. So when you have a card about 110, it works really good. We do that with all our mags. 35 to 55 PT, 75 to 100 PT. The 130 should technically be 110 to 130. And then we also have a 180 that we're coming out with that's going to be versatile as well. So let's look at the Skylar Maze that was having issues with the, what do you call it? Ultra Pro. Okay, here's the Skylar Maze. Oh, that's not our top. Yeah. Okay. Bam. Man, that's smooth. Okay. No movement at all. And what's cool about this one is not only does it have no movement, it also can be done with a black border. So we have black border on both sides. The only one in the industry that has a black border both side inner sleeve mag available. So this was the inner sleeve that came with it. And we can see if we want to put Dame Dollar in there, that he's ready to go to. And again, that's not going to slide out of there. Okay. And I think we are going to leave Dame Dollar in there to finish this off with this guy. We put that there. And now what's cool about our mags is, let's say you don't want black, you don't want clear, you want some other color. Check out our 35 to 55 point mags. And all of the fronts are able to swoop up on the back of a 130. So regardless of, you keep a clear 130 back, you can change out any color plate to do a color match as such. Whether you want it to be white, gold, you know, we got a lot of colors out, about 10 total 35 to 55 points to choose from. Buy a couple of the 130s and you can mix and match. If you're cool with just the black, then the black has both sides. Okay? But we did make it so that these are transferable. So again, that's not moving in there at all. We'll leave Lillard as he is. And do remember that every order, a box of these, you get a free pack of mag bags, 130 PT. And so what I recommend to keep these nice is to put this mag bag on there and go ahead and squeeze the sides. If you don't squeeze the sides, it's going to scratch up the front. So make sure you squeeze the sides, get that in there, and then put it into your box, your collection. Maybe put a price tag on it if you're a dealer, and you're ready to roll. That's ready to go. Okay, and the inner sleeve. Okay. And again, you're not going to have all that movement in there. All of our mags, they do have this piece of plastic that's going to be taken off. And I think that's just essential, especially when you're dealing with this type of plastic. If you're not having that, I don't know what's going on. It has to have that to keep its integrity while it's on the shelf life. And otherwise, it's just going to be a scratch disaster for collectors, and no collector wants to have a scratch disaster. That's the last thing collectors want. So there you go. That's the black border, and again, no movement at all. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope this helps a little bit to make your decision on 130 PT mags with inner sleeves. And again, each box does come with a pack of these mag bags, so that way when you're going through, you're not scratching them up. Okay, guys, enjoy it. That was GTI Card Supply 130 PT mags with inner sleeves. Catch you guys next time.